Pokemon Coliseum, the game widely regarded as the hardest Pokemon game, and for good reason. The riveting spin on the usual catch-em-all games has us stealing shadow-injected Pokemon back from trainers across the Oi region. While we battle, walk, and befriend them, they slowly return to their old ways before the shadow process. This, however, is our only way of obtaining Pokemon, thus limiting us to a measly 48 shadow Pokemon. However, if you want to make matters worse, only 42 of them are available in the main game, and 10 of them being in the very last area of the game. This leaving us with roughly 30 Pokemon to choose from for our adventure. However, we're going to cut that number down a little bit more. I want to see if I can beat Pokemon Colosseum only using water-type Pokemon. The rules of this challenge are simple. Only water types. Yes, we don't start with water types, so we will be doing the beginning battles with Espeon and Umbreon until we catch our water starters, but once we get them, Espeon and Umbreon and every other Pokemon we get go in the box. This will leave us with 6 usable Pokemon, and 5 of them we actually get extremely early on, which makes this challenge a lot better. However, though, there still are some problems with it. Anyway, before we get into those, secondly, I will in fact be trying to catch all the Shadow Pokemon. I do believe that a lot of the challenge in these games is catching the Shadow Pokemon in battles where you're trying to stay alive from their brutal attacks. If I manage to KO a Pokemon or two, no harm, it's not the end of the world, but like I said, I will be trying to catch all of them. 3. I will be limiting myself on the items. If I fail a boss fight 5 times, I'll allow myself 1 item use. If I fail 10, I'll allow up to 2, and that's the cutoff. No more than 2 items. I don't want to use items, but I'm going to be honest with y'all. I struggle in this game when I get to build my team how I like to build it. So, putting this challenge on me, I'm going to assume I'm going to struggle a little bit at least. And 4, the most important rule of all. Stay hydrated. With all that being said, let's get into the action. Alright, so let's get through this back and forth short list at the very beginning of the game so we can really get into the meat of the challenge. We go to Fennec and we save our partner, who looks like an edgy Misty, but I named her Purify, like purified water. Also, I'm named Tap, like tap water. Now let's go meet the real main character of the anime. And now we're going to pretend that 1, I don't look like a complete edgelord, and 2, I don't have a literal robotic left arm. Come on, Misty 2.0. I mean Purify. We get some Pokeballs, and I think I want to make it a personal goal to catch my entire team in Great Balls. Yeah, it's not the hardest goal, but blue balls, water types, I think it will look good together. Back to the mayor, and we meet the real main character of the Oi region. Miror B himself. Sensational. And one thing I thought was really cute, and I didn't realize until this playthrough, that his little lackey uses a Whismur, which is like the sound Pokemon, kind of like music and dance and all that. And he uses a Lotad, which is a baby Ludicolo, which his boss uses a lot of. Also, we killed our first Shadow Pokemon. Like I said, no harm, no foul. After that, we get to go meet our starter Pokemon. Literally, meet the first member of our team, Croconaw. Croconaw will evolve into Feraligatr once we purify him. We'll get to that later. And once he does, he becomes a really good physical attacker and an already enough special attacker to be able to use the water type moves. This is before the physical special split, so water types are all special and some other types are only physical, but we'll persevere through that. We catch him and head off to Pirate Town. Welcome to Pirate Town, home of thugs, bandits, and over 60% of our team. And I'm being serious, 4 of our team members are right in this area and actually can be caught relatively early on, which is a huge relief for the challenge run. So starting off, I thought this was Quagsire guy, but it's Slugma guy. Whoops. But let's take the time to talk about what I thought was going to be the first hurdle of this challenge, and that's Hyper Mode. As you can see, my Shadow Croconaw is frequently going into Hyper Mode. Hyper Mode is a condition where the Pokemon's emotions rise due to the overuse of the Shadow moves. Essentially, your Pokemon's turning into a Super Saiyan form of Brawly. Now, what does Hyper Mode do? Hyper Mode is good and bad. Now, you can exit Hyper Mode by calling your Pokemon. This will take a chunk off of its Shadow Meter, which is used to purify it. Although doing this essentially takes your Pokemon out of the game for 2 turns, one to go into Hyper Mode and one to come out of Hyper Mode. And there's no cooldown on when it can go back into Hyper Mode. So this can become quite troublesome in double battles where if one of your Pokemon's out for 2 turns, you're fighting a 1v2 for 2 turns. Staying in Hyper Mode though offers some good and bad. The good being your Shadow type moves will have a heightened critical chance. Now this is a mechanic that I definitely took advantage of early on in the game because it is very good and very helpful, especially for a lot of our team. It complements them perfectly well. Although you really can't use any moves besides the Shadow moves. If you use a different type of move, your Pokemon will either not do anything, it might use a different move, it might try to use the item it's holding, or even attack another trainer. Yeah, this game was wild back in the day. So, with all that being explained, let's go battle the trainer we really came here for, Quagsire guy. And let me tell you, I'm excited about this one because Quagsire is actually my favorite Pokemon ever. Well, Wooper's my favorite, but Quagsire's his evolution, so we're rolling with it. Quagsire is a decent physical attacker and a better tank. The reason why it's a really good tank is it only has one weakness, which is grass. So it walls off electric types, which would be instrumental for the rest of our team because seeing as we're water types, we're weak to electric. With Quagsire caught, let's deposit the rest of this team and truly begin this challenge. So, I have a strategy, but first let's talk about what's going on in the background. We have a little gauntlet to get through before we get our next few team members, so let's talk about the ideas I have right now while we fight Kale. So I opt to skip a lot of the early game trainers now solely because of the second issue I thought of early on in this challenge run. We were unable to gain any experience while our Pokemon are shadows, and we don't gain the ability to purify them until after the first boss. This isn't as big of a problem as I initially thought it was because our shadow Pokemon are actually decently leveled and will be on par with most of the trainers we fight up until that point. And the fact that we have access to the move Shadow Rush, which is a 90 base power physical move, and with Hyper Mode strats basically becomes a 180 power physical move, which decimates almost everything early on in the game. Once we gain the ability to purify our Shadow Pokemon, obviously I want to go back and backtrack and optimize our team because we're going to need the much needed experience then. Also, one thing I do want to state is early on when we don't have a full team and you catch Shadow Pokemon, they automatically get put on your team, which is kind of cool because you can literally use the Pokemon you just stole in the battle you stole it from. But if this does happen, I will not be attacking with any of the non-water type Shadow Pokemon, and I will be ending battles as quickly as possible once those Pokemon are out to keep the integrity of the challenge. This only happens a couple of times, so don't pay too much mind of it. Like I said, it's just something that can't be avoided in some instances. With Kale beaten, you see the two alphas talking, and then you got some back and forth story stuff. First off, kid, you're not fooling anyone. Secondly, our mate here had one too many it seems. Oh well, perfect time to drink some water. With that done, we challenge the Pirate Coliseum, which is 4 back-to-back battles that luckily you get healed in between. And can we take a moment to appreciate the theme you hear in the third battle? music in these old Pokemon games are so underrated, it's insane. Now, the Coliseum up until the last battle was a breeze, but between a Goldeen crit and 2 Bagon headbutts, we were down to a Quagsire 1v3. But like I said, this is my favorite Pokemon, and I'd rather have nobody else for this. I was worried about the Delibird getting a strong present off, and I was more worried about Magnemite with Sonic Boom. But luckily we disposed of the Delibird before we can get a strong move off, and I think this Magnemite didn't have Sonic Boom, and he might have only had Thunder Shock to do damage because he was just hitting me with metal sounds. Luckily, crisis averted, we completed the challenge, we got the Toxic TM, which is going to be crucial for later, but we can't use it now because you can't teach TMs to Shadow Pokemon. Now we are literally escorted to the enemy team base, and this is gauntlet number 2. And I thought we were going to have to KO this Yama early on, but it all worked out. Now we have quite a few trainers to deal with in here, and we actually whited out here for the first time so far this challenge. Miss Tati here comes strapping with an Oddish, a Horsey, and a Sandshrew. Menacing, I know. I was expecting an Absorb or maybe a Mega Drain from this Oddish, but he comes packing with Petal Dance. Quagsire didn't stand a chance. We get it down to the 1v1 with the Horsey, that new Dragon Dance, and we think we're going to have a narrow victory, but it also came equipped with Flail, and at 1 HP that soundly defeats us. So we come back with the power of strategy and opt to go for a Bite Flinch, and it actually worked. And once Oddish fell, the rest of her team did as well. Also, a little ramble, but I really enjoyed the double surf combo. Even from 2 non-special attackers, it was sweeping through this place. But anyway, it's time to bolster our forces. I should have saved before this, but oh well, no risk, no reward. We have Miror B's 2 peons, here, both of which that are used to us. Miss Wreath here has a Remoraid, the meme Pokemon of this game. Being the lowest shadow level Pokemon at level 20, this thing is very easy to KO. And it won't be really much use of us until we can purify it. At level 25 though, it will evolve into Octillery. It is very slow, but is still a very great special attacker, and it gains a wide arsenal of coverage moves that will be pivotal for us along our adventure. Secondly, Miss Firma here has a Mantine. Now this one is a little bit more of a challenge for us to catch in the sense that Mantine's catch rate is extremely low. But Mantine is fantastic for us for one, being another tank with also a fair bit of special attack. Its typing is what is the most used to us. Being a part flying type, it is only neutrally affected by grass moves, and with that extremely bulky special defense, you might as well not even try. Cool thing as well, we got to steal Mantine and use them in the little battle we got him from the Turn the Tide. Now if you think we were finished, oh no, we got one more. That's right, we got a combo. Real quick, notice how we're on the roof, and then we go all the way down to the ground to battle. Someone explain that to me. Anyway, meet Qwilfish, our speedy physical attacker. Now Shadow Qwilfish is the undisputed MVP of this team. That massive attack stat with a 90 power potentially crit boosted move, crazy. However, when we purify it, it does struggle in the move department, but there are moves for Qwilfish that will certainly have its use. With all that now, we have our team of 5, 4.5. It's okay, Remoraid, you'll be good soon. Let's continue to the third and final gauntlet, and honestly the hardest part about this was just figuring out where to go. I wanted to pick up all the items on the way because the item boxes in these GameCube games were top tier. While running through here, I also wanted to present to you guys Qwilfish's one-hit series. We make our way through the hideout, and I decide to battle all the trainers just because I think they leave once you beat Miror B. Now, preparing for Miror B, I was a little worried about this boss fight because he uses 4 Ludicolo, which is basically the bane of our existence. I lead with Mantine and Qwilfish because Qwilfish being poison resists grass, and Mantine being flying also resists grass. I'm hoping I can get an early hyper mode and just Shadow Rush critical hit the whole team down. Also, yes, I forgot to go deposit Swablu. Unfortunately, he actually does play a slight role in the fight, but we'll get to that later. Going in, my main focus is to prioritize the stronger Ludicolo of the two. They both use Rain Dance, weirdly, to set up their strat, and unfortunately we didn't get a Swift Swim on anyone, so we can't utilize the rain, but oh well. And can we talk about how much of a vibe Ludicolo is? Hands in the air like he don't care. Now that they're on the offensive, this is where Quill's and Mantine's resistance really shines. We'd be getting wrecked by these Razor Leaves if they were hitting for super effective. We successfully start chipping down his team, and finally Quillfish faints. Thank you, buddy. You carried me through this entire place essentially. That effort alone is enough to prove your worth to the team. We opt for Croconaw and we get the luckiest dodge coming in on the Razor Leaf in the fight. I went Scary Face because I was looking at my Hyper Mode Quagsire, but I never had to bring him out until much later in the fight. Now, for the real OG of the team, Sudowoodo, and he gets right onto work decimating my team. I opt for early ball throws just to get the most opportunities because with no items, I can't tank his onslaught for long. It actually came down to Swablu coming out, like I said, and I used Swablu's turn to throw the ball and Quagsire's for the kill just for the one last redemption chance. If we were going to catch it, I thought we were going to KO it, but luckily, we didn't. Yay! With Miror B defeated, Plusle saved, we finally get to go to a gate village and unlock Purification. Before anything, we need to pick up two useful items. One, the Quick Claw for Quagsire because he's slow as hell, and two, the XP share for Remoraid because he's weak as hell. As we're catching up with Gramps, of course trouble finds us. We get through the cave with ease, watch a Pikachu get wrecked, and fight the final person that stands between us and our sweet, sweet Purification. And after an annoying battle, we persevere, save the village. Yay! Now let me purify. Wait, no! Alright, let's gotta talk to this old man, and then I can purify. No, we don't want to hear more. Alright, time to go purify. Dang it, Dakin! Not now! I don't care about Mount Battle, I want to help my water bottles. Crocodile getting a huge evolution and then two OGs getting massive level ups is huge. Evidently, I probably didn't want to purify Quillfish here until we hit about level 40 because we lose Shadow Rush and that's the only way we can use that attack stat. It's okay though. Also, I hope you enjoy everyone's names, and I believe that is something we should take a drink to. So like I said, now that we have unlocked Purification, I want to go back and fight all the trainers up to this point. So enjoy the level up montage. Starting off at the trainer school, you're supposed to do this at the very beginning of the game, like before you leave Fennec. We waited till now because I found it as a perfect opportunity to use Remoraid and get him out in some battles and be able to purify him a little bit faster. It's also really good for Mantine. The battles are super trivial, but once you have 6 Pokemon, you can battle the leader Justy. He's a little tricky. He likes to utilize double team strats. Fun. I was having a really bad time in this battle, and then this man goes out and pulls out 2 super potions, and at this point, I was done. I gave up. Give me my second whiteout. It's fine. I don't care. We will come back. We will get a revenge, but let's go back to Pirate Town and pick up some of the Shadow Pokemon we missed. This Pokemon is OP, and if you know why, leave a comment. Fun fact, Ampharos and Breloom are in my top 10 of favorite Pokemon ever. Another fun fact, if you call your Pokemon when they're sleeping, it wakes them up. Kind of overpowered. Okay, so besides catching a bunch of Shadow Pokemon, that was really uneventful. But Mantime's purified, so that's good. I was spamming B throughout the purification process, so we went to the name Raider and we named our Mantine Dasani. With that being done, the only place to go is Mount Battle, which we gotta go through 9 battles to get to the big boss, so yay! More training montage time! Our main goal through this is to get Remoraid XP and purify him ASAP. All I gotta say is surf's up, dude! My guys, water types might be the meta in this game. Honestly, I did not expect this run to go so smoothly so far. Surf is just destroying everything. We finally are able to purify Remoraid. And ladies and gentlemen, meet Octillery, the final member of our team. We rightfully name him Aquafina. Yes, let's not get carried away. And even though he's a little underleveled, he's still very useful on this team. We make it back to Mount Battle, and if you're wondering how Aquafina's debut fight went, well, yeah, not so hot. Anyway, we get to our second boss, Mr. Dakin himself, and I used to call him Bacon as a kid. I don't know why, but I always did. Anyway, he can be pretty tough. He likes to use Earthquake strats, which he actually really doesn't use against us in this fight. We go in with Spring and Dasani. I wanted immunity to Earthquake, and I wanted to set up a Rain Dance to hopefully sweep his team. And this plan worked really well. The crit by the Metang early on was a little rough, but it didn't overall make too much of a difference. We pretty much just surfed and bubble beamed his entire team until we got to Entei. And we know how this goes. Ball after ball after ball. And here, right here, I thought I outsped him. I mudshotted him twice. But he hits not one, but 2 Fire Blast. Outsped me due to miscalculations. And I white out. Whoops. We go back, and honestly, I had an even better fight the second time than I did the first time. By the time I got to Entei, I think I've only got hit maybe once or twice the entire fight. And check this shit out. A little bit of setup, but the first ball I throw... yeah, I can't make this shit up. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching the first part of my little Coliseum mini-series. Challenge run thingy, whatever you want to call it. I will be making sure to link all the videos together when we finish the game. I want to try to have another one of these out in about 7-10 days. Give me a little bit of time. I work a full-time job. It's rough. Struggle is real. Next episode, we're going to finish up our team. We have 5 members. I said there were 6. There's one more. I think you guys know who it is. It's the Bamf of our team. Anyway, we're wrecking everybody with Surf. Team Aqua will be proud. Peace out. I hope you all enjoyed. And remember, stay hydrated.